All right, everyone, welcome back to the late afternoon glass off. As always, I'm joined here by my good friend, Zach. And we're also today, we've got the pleasure of welcoming a man of many names into the building. We know him as James, Woody, Woods, Jim Woo. But James Taipan Woods, how are you?
Mate, I'm great. It's really good to be here. It's fucking, this is sick.
Where did the Taipan come from?
It's a funny story. It was from like doing the Pro Juniors in the QS back in the day. Somehow like Chipper had his name, like Chris, it was always Chris Chipper Wilson in the old, that you get a printout. This is before you could look at your phone and see the draw, but you get a printout and you'd always see a printout of like your four-man heat and the rounds and whatever. And he'd always have Chris Chipper Wilson. And we just like, how did he get his nickname in there? And we hit up Al Hunt, the guy that did all that stuff, and I just asked if I could. There was supposed to be a few of us. Wade Goodall was supposed to have like we're going to do all the, like Gladiators, remember the old show Gladiators?
Yes.
He was going to be Vulcan, and Luke Cheadle was going to be like Iceman or something like that, and mine was Taipan, but mine was the only one that got in and just stayed. So
do you know why they let yours in? Is there a reason?
Because I got along really well with Al Hunt. He's a funny cunt,
right.
And he was just like, yeah, I'm getting this one in. This will be a classic. So it just sort of stuck from there. And I think people thought I was like trying to change my persona and like become really serious and like, a few announcers and that thought I was like, had become really serious.
Right.
But it was just because Chipper was doing it. It was just a piss take, really.
Well, look, we're going to get into a lot of that. But before we dive into everything, who is Woody?
What? He's me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Woody is. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, it's just me. I'm Woody.
Yep.
How are you? I don't know. Like, how deep do you want me to go? I'm like a man in the world. I'm a dad. I'm a dad, a surf coach, a shaper, a washed up surfer, bit of a QS hack, and lucky enough to live in a great community where I still get to do the stuff to do with surfing, and I guess you become a semi-podcaster here and there. I don't know. I fucking do about 800 things, but most of the time it's coaching and shaping. Yeah.
And shout out as well, Ball and All. That's the potty that Woody's on. Check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
How long have you been doing that for?
That happened in COVID, or kicked off in COVID.
Yeah.
Like around, like right at the start, around like March of 2020 or something like that, or April, whenever we sort of started to get the shutdowns.
Yeah.
And Beric Barnter, who lives in Lennox, he'd come back from Japan, he was playing rugby, and he was sort of, because they were shutting it down and they were shutting all the footy, he got home and then bought himself like a podcast setup because he didn't have much to do and he wanted to start like a sports podcast.
Yeah.
And he was going to do it with Jamie Lyon and Steve Condo. And then Jamie Lyon sort of backed out at last minute, and then I don't actually know how I got the start. I think they just were going to do one with me, and then I ended up just sort of sticking around, and fucking we've done, I don't know how many we've done. We've probably done maybe 200 or something over the last 4 years. Or no, where are we? It's nearly 6 years. Fuck. So about 5 years worth of it. I think we don't do as many, like we haven't done as many as we usually have. Probably one a month or something like that if you worked it out the last sort of year or so.
Yeah. Well, and Zach actually had a question here for you based on the name thing. So there's also another James Woods who lives up the coast.
Yeah, South.
How often do you get confused for him? Is it a regular occurrence for you?
Not heaps now, but back in the day when he was competing and I was competing, I think I'm 39. I'd say he's maybe 33, or he'd be a little bit 5 years maybe or so younger than me.
Yeah. Well, because he's a coach as well. Like
he owns Kira Surf.
Yeah.
Not Kira Board but Kira Surf School, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've competed against him and his brother Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't not now because I don't do any fucking comps or anything like that. But a lot of the time, people would put an S at the end of mine, Whereas,
I actually did on the start. I realised when I just introduced you. I called you James Woods.
yeah,
which
well, there
is
you
not
go. I didn't even know. Like, I'm so used to people doing that. I don't give a fuck about that. But yeah, that would happen a little bit, shit like that. But there's maybe 1 or 2 times he got a sick wave at Snapper or Burley, and someone would say, fuck, I seen your wave on like fucking Coastal Watch or something like that. Like, yeah, it was fun. Like, there was a few that day, and I hadn't been up there surfing at all. So that's about the only time I've like
You just
really, yeah, I was
claim
just
it sometimes.
claim a sick one.
Absolutely. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, you'll notice me and Zach are sat next to each other extremely close. One of our microphones shit itself before this started. So we're going to be passing it back and forth intermittently. Have you got your questions ready though?
Yeah. Woods.
Yeah.
I want to know about the early life, mate. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? What was it like growing up?
I was born in Sydney, like North Sydney. And then we moved up when I was probably 4, like 4 or 5, I think, to Lennox. And yeah, my parents used to come up here on holiday, and they'd spend heaps of time at Lennox and Byron. And Mum had school friends and friends that were living in Lennox, so she wanted to live here. And then, yeah, we moved up. Yeah, I'm just into Barrett Drive, like right near where I live now, like where I have a house. And yeah, haven't been anywhere else since, really. It's been fucking Lennox Head, and that's about it.
What number in Barrett Drive?
I have no idea. It's like the middle of Barrett Drive, probably like, I'd say number 19. I'm going to go number 10.
I was 52.
Yeah, well, I might be close to that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
What's your earliest like surfing memories in Lennox then? Like, was there a little squad or something like that?
Yeah, like,
Jenny Boggers, like squad trainer?
So I became good mates with, like, I went to school, like my good mates, Ev McGregor and Adam Melling. They were in, Adam was a year older than us in the year above, but in Lennox you do like, might do half classes, like year 4 or 5 or whatever. So sometimes you're in with crew that are older. So we all became pretty close, and that was kind of what got me surfing. Those guys were riding bodyboards, and we were bodyboarding the pub shories and surf club shories and shit like that. And then everyone just eventually started surfing, and then that was probably when we were all sort of I probably really got into it probably 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just, once we got surfing, it was on. They just didn't stop really. We got into Lee Bar probably not long after that. Like I was probably 10 or 11 around the time I joined Little Lee Bar, which was on Sundays, and then from there it was just like every day.
Mm-hmm. I've also got a question that was from Johnny Hewitt, and I actually don't know the backstory here, so I'm actually very interested in this one. Did you ever learn to swim?
Not very well. No, I mean, he'd always give me shit because he's a club, like he was a clubby.
Yeah.
And so he'd used to, like, he'd always be a really good swimmer. He's really good in the water. And I never did any of the clubby stuff. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't have the time for that sort of stuff.
I couldn't put the hat on.
Yeah.
The hat got me. Like,
I think John's into wearing Speedos. So he would always really like to, like, he'd surf sometimes. Like, he'd come from the surf club in his Speedos and just go out the pub and surf in his Speedos. So he had that water confidence, and he'd always give me shit because I didn't do it and couldn't really swim that well.
oh, right. I thought there was going to be a near drowning event or something. So I'm glad that.
I mean, I can't remember one, but there might be. I don't think there was. I think it was mostly that.
So you mentioned as well Lee Bar there. So Lee Bar Board Riders, we got soon to be club president in our presence here.
Yeah.
Growing up though, so your friend group, they all rip. Everyone surfs really good that you hang out with pretty well. And
yeah.
So growing up through Little Lee Bar and coming through the divisions there, was it pretty much like yourself, Melling and Ev just winning intermittently each year? Like were you kind of taking it in turns, or was there one of you that would win more?
Like Dan Emery would win a lot. So he was like Al Emery, the Shaper's little brother. He was always sort of, when we were really young, he's a year older again, like a couple years older than me. And he'd always he was probably the best up and coming kid. And Melling was not far behind him, but he was still kind of pretty unco at that stage. He wasn't really. And then it kind of clicked for him maybe when we were 12.
Okay.
And he won Gromfest and started winning all the Lee Bar rounds. But probably like 10 and 11, it was mostly Dan. Like Steve Walsh was always going really good, and then Angus Cook. There's like heaps of crew, but Ev as well. Like obviously Ev, we had a good group of crew, but we didn't do anything else.
Right.
We fucking did not do anything else. We just surfed. Like we'd surf before school, after school, all day on the weekend. There wasn't really much else to do. We didn't have a phone or, it was fucking you clapping sticks together and fucking skimming rocks. There wasn't much happening.
For sure. And so like back then as well, you mentioned those guys that you've sort of grown up with. Was there guys older than you that you guys were looking up to, or you guys kind of just carved
Yeah,
your
for
own
sure.
way?
Like there was obviously Jock Barnes was like he was a standout junior when he was, through 14s, 16s, 18s. He was winning everything. So he was the one that I really looked up to. I loved Jock. And the year I sort of really started getting into surfing, I didn't do Gromfest, but I did. I just went, we were there every day watching, and he won the 14s, and I think he got maybe second or third in that 16s. And everyone, like all of us were just frothing on that because he was from our town. He was winning even though the comp was in our town, he was beating all like the best guys.
Yeah.
So he was probably, him and Dan Tomo were like the really good two guys, Johnny obviously, and then all the guys from Northwall, Sonny and Joe and Nighty. There were so many good, the Hernage brothers, there was so many good guys. There was like that, when I first joined Big Lebo when I was probably 12 or 13, there was like the opens, there was such a good, there was probably 10 or 12 guys doing the QS.
Yeah, yeah.
There was QS surfers from probably first to 10 or something.
It's crazy.
And they were doing it, like all of them were doing it. There was, Lincoln Ether, like there's so many good surfers.
Why do you reckon like here, Lennox Head and Ballina, such a small region, but it's produced such high quality surfers for decades now? Why do you reckon that is? Is it quality of waves, or is it, like you said, not much else to do? Like,
I think it's probably, we're really lucky we've got 2 towns to go between. Well, obviously for board eyes, we can choose a bunch of different waves, but there's a bit of room. Like you can, even though it does get crowded at the best spots, there's a lot of spots you can go and surf. So you can surf on your own if you want. And I think especially back then when there was even less people, it's just a good community too. There's a lot of good people here that always want to try and help. There's a lot of good older people that will get behind the crew that are trying to do it.
yeah. Yeah.
It was always like that when we were young. I had so many good people that weren't a part of my family that would always try and, help out and get you to, get you pumped up for comps or get you to the comps or whatever. Having that, I reckon, a part of our club and part of our area is probably why you see so many. If they don't go on the QS or the CT, there's fucking 100 good surfers here.
Yeah.
There'd be 100 guys that are 7 or 8 out of 10, and then there's a few that are 8 and 9 out of 10. There's probably a couple of 10 out. If you look at it like that, if you surf the Lennox on a really good day and everyone's out there, it's like there's not a bad wave surf really.
Nah, that's a good point. And like you said, because there is so many good surfers in that area, you kind of like, it elevates the level anyway,
it breeds
right?
the next crew, like the next younger crew, like especially if you've got guys that are like making you feel welcome and making you feel confident when you're young. There's a lot of good older crew we don't have too many people that try and bring down the next crew coming up. Generally everyone's been really good at encouraging the next crew. They feel welcome in the lineup, as long as they're not being dicks, but generally everyone's like getting the next crew and pumping them through. And you can see that obviously makes them all more confident, and they generally get better really quick. So I think that's the reason why there's a lot of good surfers. Yeah,
for sure. And you progress from board riders to you have one of the more stellar junior resumes I've seen. We'll go into 2002. So you win the under 16 junior world title.
Yeah.
Google's deleted all record of this, by the way. I went looking last night for any kind of statistics. You can go as crazy as you want. You can say whatever here, but I just wanted you to run through like where it was, and also were you one of the favorites going into it, or were you sort of like middle tier and there was guys that probably should have won it ahead of you?
Yeah, I'd probably say there was guys ahead that should have won. There was so the year before, there was at Narrabeen. It was the previous years. I think maybe a couple of years before it, and that year I did it was at Narrabeen. Mm-hmm. It was at North Narrabeen and or the Northern Beaches, and Ben Dunn, who's my age, he won most of the comps around that we did from when I was probably 13 to 17, 18.
Was he Rip Curl back then? Was he always Rip Curl, or was he?
Yeah, he was Rip Curl, yeah. And he had won, he'd gone in it as a lower age and won it the year before.
Oh, wow.
And so for the Aussies, you qualified for the Aussies for the previous year or whatever. So he didn't even do Aussie. So we had a leg up there. Like there was an extra spot because he wasn't doing it. Yeah. So it was like, That year it was me, Wade, Goodall, maybe I think Luke Cheadle and Jay Davies. I think were the 4 for 16th. And yeah, I didn't feel at all like a favourite. Like I got second in Aussies the previous year to make it.
Yeah.
Wade won Aussies, and then there was like Geordie and Jeremy Flores. There was good guys. They were a bit younger than us, but that like Geordie was as big as me then. And he didn't make the final. I think he had lost in the semis in the other semi. And had a bit of a shocker. And
Okay.
you know, it just all worked out on that day. The last day the waves were pretty average, and then the last day was sort of 4 or 5 foot and really nice lefts.
Right.
And I just got lucky in the final.
Who was in the final with you? It's really testing you here.
I think it was me, Wade, and maybe Damien Farrenfort from South Africa, and another South African, but not Geordie.
Right.
Someone else. And it was best 3. So I think I had 3 sevens, or I had a 7 and an 8 and a 5 or something like that.
True.
And another guy had an 8 and a 6, and I think he needed a 7 or he needed a 6 or something, and he didn't get it.
No way.
Yeah, and then I didn't think, like, you know, you're always hopeful, but I never like was going, fuck, it's mine to win at all. I'd never won anything that big. Like, I was stuck to get second at Aussies the year before and make the Worlds.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of drives me to the next question, because for most people, like, one junior world title is like, it's everything. Like, coming through as a Grom, like, they're the guys that you put on the pedestal. And 2 years later, you get crowned under 18s world junior champion again. This time was in Tahiti. You beat Jeremy Johnston, William Cardoso, and Ben Dunn again. Still doing the thing.
Yep.
Were you feeling at this point, coming into sort of under 18s, that you were one of the guys to beat and one of the favourites in the event, or were you still sort of feeling?
Not at all. Like, there was some, like, have you read the final of the 16s in that final?
I did see. I forgot who's in it, but I saw it last night.
John Daru. I mean, not to go away from me, but it was like John Daru, Tano Gadauskas, Matty Wilco, Julian Wilson. I think Jeremy and Geordie lost in the semis of that one.
Right.
Like, their age group below us was so gnarly. But yeah, I had a really good board. It was in Tahiti. It was at like a beach break on the other side of the island from Chobes. It's like a pretty popular, it's kind of like a rocky beach break, like a sort of like a bowls beach break if there's no sand.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit backwashy, but it's sick lefts. It was pretty fun waves. And the final I was winning, and Jeremy Johnson, who was surfing really easy, goofy footer from Florida, really, really good at airs and really good in little waves.
Yeah.
And he got an interference. No, Dunny blocked it. Something happened. Dunny fucking took a bullet for me. Like, it was not a great wave, but I couldn't get there. There's no priority. So we were all battling, and I was on the wrong side of the peak, and Dunny was there enough to block it, or he got an interference or something. He tried to go right, and it was a left, and they called it on Dunny.
Wow.
And it stuffed the wave up, and that was the end of the thing. So there was, I got lucky within, it was like 30 seconds to go.
Wow.
I think he needed maybe somewhere around a 6. So he could have got it, but...
But you make, like, you'd say you get lucky. You make your own luck in those things. You made the final. You clear.
Yeah, I had a really good board.
Yeah.
I had a really good, it was a sparrow shape, and it was fucking magic, and it worked really good on my backhand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when you get on a roll, when you got a really good board and the board suits the waves, then you can kind of drum up scores, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And it's good that you answered that question, because Zach had written down here, who the is Jeremy Johnston. So
he's an amazing surfer.
Yeah.
He was like a really good, he won a lot of the NSSA comps, and he did a few pro juniors and did a bit of the QS, but I think he lost it a bit. Like, he was partying and shit like I was, and then I guess just he didn't follow through with it. But he's doing really well now. I actually saw him. It was so funny. We were at Commune last year, and I rocked up, walked down the pool with my kids, and he was there with his kids, and he's doing really well now. Still lives in Florida. His wife's got, I think, like a cooking company, and she does really well. And
beautiful.
He's fucking still tears. He's a really good surfer. He was ripping at Commune, at Crams.
Yeah, right. And my other question for that was, which one felt better out of your 2 world titles? Which one to you was like, this one feels especially special?
Oh, I've never really thought about it. Probably my first one, just because I never, like, you just go down to those sorts of comps like, oh, fuck, I hope so.
Just here to make up numbers.
Like, you're hoping it actually worked out. I was, like, running around like a headless chook on the beach. Someone was filming behind me and they put the audio on Triple J and I was like, holy shit. I was on the phone to my mum, and just going, holy shit, mum, I fucking did it. I fucking won. And I had no idea anyone was behind me. It's fucking unbelievable. I was just on, like, the sand dunes at Nana. And they put that on like as a 10-second or 15-second audio on Triple J for like the whole night, or like they cut back to it every now and again.
It's just
here's the sound of a Stud Grommet winning the World Junior Champs or something. Like, you just hear me just swearing and like I'm getting calls from a nan and that, like, James, what's going on?
Well, yeah.
But it was, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think about it much, and they're both really special. It was good to beat Dunny and get one up on him at something like that, because he beat me at Aussies and he always beat me. So it's good to get that as well.
Get the wood over him. Well, no pun intended there as well. Now, it's funny to me because you've sort of mentioned a couple of times that you weren't necessarily thinking of yourself as a favourite going into these events. And I went trawling through the internet last night in preparation for this. I found a Sydney Morning Herald article from 2004.
Yeah.
And this was in the lead up to Narrabeen, which I think was a WS or the ASP world title not long afterwards, like 2 weeks
That's
after.
the World Pro Junior or something.
Yeah.
World Junior. They had the Pro Junior World titles at Narrabeen. Billabong had them.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
That's it. Yeah. And they must have interviewed you. And in the article you wrote, you were shitting yourself to compete in the trials and you weren't very confident. And to me, like, I look at you now as we go to all like the ABB and all the team events and stuff, and you're pretty much the anchor in every team. Like, you're ultra confident, you're going to go and do your job. And then to see this from you, like, essentially back in your prime, that you weren't necessarily the most confident person heading into these events was kind of interesting to me. Why do you think you're feeling like that fresh off? You just won the world title, and then you go and essentially it's a similar event, I guess, maybe a bit harder. With the guys that you might have had more pull from different divisions or something.
I think it's just I think at that time, because you had to call, like, back then you did the Pro Junior Series, it was 10 events, it was like pretty big.
Yeah.
And I'd won a Pro Junior that year. Yeah. And then I just started riding for Billabong. Won a Pro Junior, I was in the top 5 for ages. You had to stay in the top 5 to make the 5. They take 5 out of the Aussie Pro Junior Series to go into that world one at Narrabeen.
Yeah.
So every region got 5 or something like that. And the last Pro Junior in the quarterfinals, trying to keep, I think I was 5th or 6th. I needed to make a couple more heats to guarantee my spot.
Yeah.
And I'm in the quarterfinals and I am getting pushed up the rocks by Adam Melling, who's coming about 8th. And he's currently winning. He's got pocket 6s or something like that, and it's pretty small rink on. And I knew I needed to make that heat. I think Seds was in the heat, Lee Sedley, who was already I think he won the Pro Junior. Anyway, he fucking smoked me, and I was fucking yelling and screaming at Melling, saying you're a pussy for hassling and calling him all names. But Melling ended up winning the Pro Junior and getting the 5th spot, getting into the World Pro Juniors, and I had to do the trials. So I kind of I just lost a bit of confidence. I think it's so hard. There's so many good guys. Back then they ran it as a mini CT. There was 16 heats of 3. Then you had round 2, and then if you won, you go to round 3. It was like a little mini CT.
Was it man on man as well? Was it man on man as well throughout the event? I saw
in the one, if you made it into it, yeah. So the previous winners were like, I think D'Souza won it the year before in 2003. I think that year Pablo Paulini won, but there was like, I think in the final, maybe Geordie might have had the final. Or maybe not even Geordie. It might have been someone even like someone a bit older, but it was really hard. I didn't feel like, because I was 18 and going against 20-year-olds or 20. You did. That's kind of probably why they wrote.
And I actually forgot it because it was under 21s or something.
Yeah, under 21s.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was probably 18, and there was, I hadn't made the top 5 to even qualify. So if I did make it in, I was, hopefully making a few heats. That's probably what I said.
You mentioned Adam Melling in there.
Yeah.
Tell us about the rivalry at that age between you two. It would have been pretty heated at times.
Yeah, it was. From my point of view, I had probably a more consistent couple of years when we were like in our age group stuff, but he was always, to me, always way better at surfing. He always looked like stronger and more powerful. I never really felt like I had the confidence to beat him. Sometimes I could surf a better heat, or like, especially around then, I felt like I could have maybe a better heat plan, or I'd make better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought he was a better surfer. So it kind of I always tried probably harder against him because it feels really good beating him. But to me, he was always better. So I never when I get smoked, I would get a pretty devo, especially if it was like that comp at Bells when he was paddling me out the rocks laughing. But otherwise, yeah, it's like it's a good rivalry is probably the best way to put it. He brings the best out of my surfing, especially when we're going against each other, or when we were. But yeah, he'd be probably one of my favourite surfers. He's so good, but he's just been busy with his kids and stuff at the moment. So hopefully he gets the love back and gets back into it. He's fucking hurt his ankle on a trampoline. He's a bit chalky, old Mel, but it'd be fucking great to see a bit more of him surfing because he's fucking so good.
We'll get that message to him. But was that
send him an email.
Was he Oakley back then still?
Yeah. So he rode for Rip Curl early on, like when we were young, like probably when we were 14. He got sponsored by Rip Curl, and then he rode for them for probably till he was 17 or 18. And Mitch Lawson, that was running Oakley, that was when there was coin. He obviously everyone knew how good he was as he was coming through the Pro Junior, and then he won the one at Bells, and the waves are good. He made the World Juniors, and he looked like an adult. Then he was fucking he was so jacked and stocky. He's like a little Tom Carroll. So they knew, it was like people could see how it was going to transfer really quick onto the QS, and he finished school, and then he was sort of into it, and he wasn't going that good because he was fucking surfing heats pretty shit. And then I think the next year it was maybe 07 or 08, he started to get some results, and then he was going, and then it was on from there.
Was there any contract chat cash wise where you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting this, and he goes, oh, I got this?
I knew what he was getting. He's getting good coin. He's getting fuck. I reckon when he was 18, when he signed with Oakley, he would have been on 150 for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because he was head to toe. I would imagine it was 120, 130, 150, something like that. And then once he got on the CT, it would have been doubled, I would imagine. Or I don't know. I don't want to talk out of context for him now. I'll talk it up. I'd say it was something like that. They Oakley were really good at the time for the head to toe guys. They get good money. Like Breno and him were getting looked after really well. I mean, even the eyewear guys, I think were getting crazy money back then. So I don't know, but it was something like that. It was more than what I was getting. I wasn't getting that. I was only getting I think maybe 550 grand a year. Nah, it was good coin. It was, I reckon all up a couple of years, it was probably around 80 to 100 grand, and I was still in the Pro Junior series. It was pretty laughable.
Insane.
Really. It's like crew on the CT probably now are getting that, and I was fucking just some peanut doing stupid fucking surfing life videos. So
doing naked news.
Yeah, it was, that just shows you how crazy it was from the late 90s to 2010. Let's say that 10 to 12 years over that, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. And just while we're on the subject of Melling, you said he had the physical attributes early on to have success in surfing, and brands identified that. Obviously goes on to have a career spanning, I don't know, probably, how long was he on tour for? 10 years or so? Was it?
He did the CT from, I think he qualified in 2009. So from his first year was 2010.
Yeah.
And he was on there till I think the end of 2016. So it was about 7 years, I think.
7 or 8 years, yeah, sweet. So for him, obviously got second at J-Bay to Geordie Smith, who's pretty much you get second.
His first year.
Yeah, you get second to him. It's kind of almost a win in itself, it's pretty hard to beat him.
Bobby and Taj and Damien Hopgood. He had a good run through the last few rounds. He was ripping.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously he was sort of back and forth. Generally was leaving it up to either needing a result at the back end of the year, or even falling back onto the QS and winning Sunset or doing well in Hawaii, which generally is not somewhere you want to be trying to go and get results,
Unless you're him.
Unless you're him.
Fucking always do good there, yeah. But I mean, yeah, he's not he's not into stress. Don't worry about that. And he
Yeah.
was putting himself through a fair bit.
That
can be, I think maybe that's why he stopped
Yeah.
a little bit towards the end. He was just sick of feeling like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like on the bubble so much, but
And why do you think though? Like obviously, one of his best mates like was right there from the beginning coming through. I feel like your biggest attribute through competing is like you always have a really strong game plan. Like you're quite headstrong in a heat and you're really smart about surfing. With him, like he'd have a lot of heats on tour that he'd lose with like an 8, you know, like he'd get a really good one wave score and then maybe not back it up. Why do you think it was so up and down for him during his time on tour?
probably a couple of things. It probably like the biggest one for him is probably just the way he structured his heat. Probably wave selection was probably a big one for Mel. Like he would either wait too long and it'd be too late and he'd scramble.
Yeah.
Like that happens still to a lot of crews. Like they'll try and win with the best wave and they probably only need like 10 or 11 points.
Yeah.
He did that. He lost like that a lot. He'd get a really good one and maybe sit and wait for another really good one and he probably only needed to get another mid score. He probably wouldn't look to back up.
Sure.
Or he'd get unlucky. He'd just get bad matchups. I'm trying to think. Like there was a lot of times where you'd watch him surf a QS event, like especially through the middle part of his career, and he'd just blow 6 stars away, which were the challenges of that time, and he'd win them surfing like really confident, really well, and there was man-on-man heats in those events towards the end. But he just, for whatever reason, maybe a bit of self-doubt, maybe against you go against like Mick or Joel, who's your hero, he probably just couldn't get over that. The fact that he could beat him, like stuff like that, I reckon.
Yeah, okay.
But I think the big one was just he would just let the heats, like time would run out. He'd wait a lot. He'd be really trying to get the very best wave.
You move on to the QS 2006. I personally loved doing the junior series. I didn't even make it to the QS. I think I did like 1 year. But the best thing my fondest memories of the junior series was just the crew that you travel with. It's not even the wins or the losses or anything. It's just the crew that you're with. And I feel like I've done a few team trips with you, like with Lebo. You're kind of the energy. I feel like you would have been like the bloke that everyone wanted to travel with. But who was the best kind of travel squad for you throughout the QS Pro Junior?
Where it was mostly, I mostly went with Mel, like until he went on the CT and I was still rattling away. But like the early years, probably. I think I did my first proper year in 2004, and that was with Fish and Mel, and then Travis Lynch. Like probably me and Fish did a lot of it together. We did a lot of the QS together, me and Fish, and
that is a dangerous combination.
It was a really dangerous combination. It was also a very unsuccessful period. We'd have a few results here and there, but spending a lot of money to go and party.
I feel like unsuccessful in one manner, but successful probably in a lifetime of stories.
Well, it worked out really well for Fish. He's a fucking millionaire. But we had a lot of fun. Like 2007, 08, and 2009. They were like the big full years for me. And there was heaps of us. We traveled there'd be fucking 10 of us at some stops if we could fit everyone in. Or we'd have 2 houses side by side. So... Mm-hmm. It was a good crew, Breno, Seds, Fisher, Mel.
Is that where Cut Snake kind of came to life?
Yeah. They bought decks, one trip in Europe, bought leather jackets, thought they were justice. They got into it. Like we're always listening to that type of music and always going to those like types of festivals, but they started properly mixing and getting into it.
While on the QE?
They just got one of those little portable ones.
Yeah.
And they'd fucking put the laptop out and... We just all stand around staring at them and drink. They'd play to us, and then it kind of went from there for them. Like that was legit how it sort of started. One of the QS times, and then they obviously were fucking around for a few years, and then as they ended up Seds and Fish staying in America because they were both sponsored by Reef,
mm-hmm.
and Nutty, who looked after them, was living in America, so they'd stay there because it was better for their sponsor stuff, and it kind of went from there. They've started playing small gigs and bars around San Diego and Carlsbad and that, and then into LA, and from there it was fucking just...
It exploded,
yeah. That's kind of where it all come from. But those guys, all the crew, if you pointed one, it would probably be me and Fish, probably had the most fun.
Any like times that you just go that tops the leaderboard of the best time ever?
There's a lot that none I can really talk about, but like the cars in Europe. So when you go to Europe, like before they changed it all, the QS stuff, there was like an event in England at Newquay, there was an event at Lacanau in France, an event at Anglet in France, and then an event down in Portugal, and then you come back up for a Hossegor event. So it's like 5 weeks. But in the Europe part, like from France through to Portugal back up to France, you could rent and lease a car. So you effectively own the car. So the insurance was fully covered in the car. So the cars were like, they weren't well respected, the cars. They were Renaults, like the Renault, the company. And, you know, we'd take them on the bike, BMX tracks and just fucking try and go, like, you know, we just, if there was nothing to do on the ways to shit, we'd go to car parks and fucking just do burnouts and shit. All of that stuff, these stuff I suppose you could talk about. And most of the crew, we would do that. We did that because the first year, you know, all the other older crew that had been doing it forever were doing it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, funny shit at parties. Like, there's no phones early on and shit like that. So like there was like people were walking around with fucking Sony, you know, remember the flick down Sony? Yeah. There was all that. So, but no one would just pull out a phone and it was on Instagram.
Yeah.
You'd put it in a computer and like put a disc, like save your Europe. But like, I don't know where any of that shit is, but yeah. So you could get away with a lot no one was putting anything up.
For sure.
I don't really want to go too much further than that, but there was good fun. Everyone had a good time. Like, it's an amazing spot, Hossegor and Anglet and all that whole area, Biarritz and that. It's good fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It's
Newquay, but like England, Newquay is fun. It's good fun. It's like Byron.
Yeah.
It's like a real popular summer spot for like people from England.
Yeah.
It's got the pretty horseshit ways, but the whole town's full of clubs and bars and stuff, and it just blows up in summer. It's sick.
Yeah. Well, it does sound like fun. I think yourself, Fisher, and probably Breno would all be on someone's list of people to take away with it.
There's some funny drives. There's some funny drives, like from Hossegor down to Irasira and that. There's some fucking funny shit.
Find that CD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a few there. There's a few CDs that probably need to get set on fire.
Yeah. So you start in 2006, as we sort of established before. 2007, Billabong gives you a tap on the shoulder and says, "James, we don't need you anymore."
Yeah.
What reasoning did they give you for that at the time?
They wanted me. They didn't. There was a contract there. It just wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to compete and travel and keep doing that, like the comps. But they were like pretty involved with Channel V and like MTV and that, and they wanted me to do like more stuff around events, more presenting, and I guess like a bit of everything around the event. It was kind of how I saw it, and I just stupidly said no. Like it wasn't bad. It was all right contract, and I feel like if I had done well in events, they probably would have just gone, "Hey, keep doing them."
Yeah.
But I just took it as like, oh, they don't see me as doing that, so fuck you. And I said no to what they had offered, and it's like, oh, I'll get a sponsor straight away. And it was like the middle of 2007. I had a manager still, and he's like, it's not trending very well in America at the moment. And like he'd been talking to obviously all the major brands, and at that time there were still pretty big teams.
Yeah.
But no one had really had anything, and there was a few things happening and a few companies coming through, and still wasn't. There was like a couple of maybes and shit like that, and then it got to like the end of 2007, and then like it was fucked. There was nothing, and that was like right before the financial stuff. But I was lucky at the time. It was like I think the end of I probably had 6 months without sponsor, or 7 months without sponsor, and then lost from America. It was sort of they had a couple of guys had bought the license in Australia, and they gave us a sponsor and threw some coin at us and got us back going. But yeah, I just said I thought I was like, oh, I'll fucking get something straight away. You fucking sweet. It's just crickets. So yeah, I think looking back, I could have done a few things to warrant like what I thought I was going to do.
Yeah,
I was definitely not putting enough effort towards doing that. And I had a lot of energy for other shit. And because it had been going so well, I'd been partying and fucking going mad. I was still getting pretty good results.
Yeah.
And still chipping along pretty good.
Yeah.
But they like by the time I was probably 21 or 22, they're looking at a bigger picture. Like they're signing you to make the tour and then start to like do well on tour.
Yeah.
And there was like Geordie was up for contract, and it was right when he'd like, I think he'd won. I think he got like third at Sunset, and fucking Joel and Andy were in the like he was only 17. Like he might have been 18 or 19, and he was fucking like just starting to get big and strong. And
Yeah.
they had like, it's like, do we go with Woody or do we go with Geordie? And there was other crew like Laurie, and there was other crew doing really well. We're all up,
Yeah.
so they made the in everyone's opinion probably the better decision. And I just, you're looking back, you go, fuck, I probably should have put my head down and put my energy towards getting better results and living holistic life and fucking normal. But it just, at that time, I just didn't. I just was going mad, and that's what ended up happening, which is probably a good thing, really, looking back. Like, I mean, it would have been sick to be sponsored by them, but it all worked out. I got sponsored by Lost and got to hang out with those guys, and I got to take a step back from doing all the shit I was doing and go, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
No one believes you if you're doing that shit. So
Yeah.
you got to kind of get your shit together.
And did it rock your confidence, or did you sort of use it as fuel?
Oh, probably a bit of both. Like, yeah, for sure. At the start, for sure. You kind of feel like a bit of a loser because you go from being like, you get sponsored by Billabong and it's all going really well. You're in these like heap of different movies. There's a lot of media, and then you get those results with the World Juniors, and you're getting Pro Junior results and QS results. And then there's a big town, like what I was talking about. Everyone's supporting you, everyone's behind you. And then you got to like see people down the street and tell the story. So I got jobs. Yeah. So it's, I don't have a sponsor. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. And everyone's like, fucking about a month ago, you were going pretty good. What happened in a month? You're like, well, you got to, that was a bit where it definitely whacked my confidence.
Yeah.
Because you're just telling that story over, and it's just a bad feeling saying that you fucking sucked.
Well,
to people.
In a different realm, but like similar sort of setup. Because I've got a psychology degree. Yeah. I still work at Lennox Surf Shop. So you see all your mates come in from school that are off like doing investment banking or doing whatever they're doing, and they're like, oh, like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just working at Lennox Surf. Like, and it kind of maybe a similar thing in that regard where like you've got to at one stage, and like there's some in there for you, but you sort of haven't gone on to achieve what maybe people thought you might have.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, you can, as long as you don't, like, you just use it as hopefully points you in the right direction. Yeah. And you just try and, I was really lucky. I had really good people around at that time. Like, I had obviously all my good mates. I had my family, like my mom and my stepdad. And I didn't, like, although you feel like a bit of a dick and you feel like a loser, I got away from that pretty quick because of the epic community. Yeah. Got to, everyone, like, eventually once you tell everyone, everyone's like, oh, fuck, you'll be right. You'll fucking get to, they go the other way and start
backing you even harder.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully crew back you to stay in the surf shop and fucking, I mean, like at the end of the day, you'll get to whatever you want to do. Like, I feel like I'm at where I should be, and what I'm doing, I really like. So if it meant for all that shit to happen 20 years ago, then sweet.
Yeah. So in 2013, you decide to hang up the Rashi. Was that hard? Was it, or were you just like, nah, fuck this?
Not really. Like, I'd done a few. I did 09. Like, I got sponsored by Lost in the end of 07. 08, I did okay on the QS, made a few heats. I think I had a couple of okay results. And then 2009, I did really well. Won an event in, sorry. Fuck. I got second in an event. I did not win an event. Settle down. I got second in a 6-star, and I had a bunch of other results that were like, pretty good QS results, like a couple quarters and a couple of rounds before quarters and 6 stars. Like, I was pretty consistent making heats, and it was going really well. And then 2010 was doing pretty good. Made a few finals and shit like that. And then I met my wife, and she came and did a few. She came and did a few legs. She did 2011 legs, so the Europe leg, what I was just talking about with fish and that. So 2011, she did the Europe leg, and I'd had some okay results, and I was like, oh fuck, I'll do the Europe leg. I'll have a crack. And she's like, yeah, let's get a camper van and I'll do it with you, and we can sort of there was weeks gaps so we can do it. I think the first 4 events I came last. Like, I went so shit to the point where Rian, my good mate Rian Slap, good energy, electrical work, check him out. He lent me a quad. And I fucking was so, like, I'd snapped my good board in Newquay, which was the first Europe event.
Yeah.
And I had these backups that were just fucked. And I was just going so bad. I was clutching and the waves were really little. And I got on his quad. It was a stump thumb, an Emery stump thumb. And it was like a round tail, had flies. It had all the shit. It had a Bruce Lee spray on it. And I'm like, fuck it. It was Tiny Zerouts, which is in Spain. And I was like, I'm taking this thing out. I can have a crack on this. And I think I got a couple of threes. and then we come in, and that was kind of, I was just like, I wasn't happy. And again, I was still doing stuff with her. And I was probably 60% of where I should have been out of 100%.
Yeah.
I should have, you should be there 90%. Not that it was her. It was just like, I didn't have the right boards. I didn't prepare for shit waves. Yeah. We were going off between events and I wasn't even surfing and then going to an event.
Yeah.
So it was slowly becoming pretty obvious that I should be stop spending my money doing that. And then it got to 12 and 13. I did a few more. I'd do the Aussies. I was like starting to, the Aussie leg was first. I'd go, oh fuck, if I get a result, I'll go on with it. Yeah. And I never did. Yeah. It was like just more and more good surfers coming on and I was just getting smoked. And then I went on a trip to Indo with her. We went to Lakey Peak and it was pumping and I was like, it was like $3,000 trip and we stayed for 2 weeks, got the sickest waves, went to Bali, got sick waves. And I was like, I'm never spending $5,000 on a comp trip. Yeah. I'm just going to go surf good waves. And yeah, that's kind of basically where I sort of drew the line in the sand, really. Yeah.
And so, like, obviously, multiple junior world champs. As time went on, also, were you sort of feeling like more and more weight in your shoulders to get there as well? Like people expecting you after having that junior career to...
Not really. No, I never really looked at it like that. Like, I should be on there because of that. Yeah. I never did. Like, no, I just really should have been a little more committed and a little bit more like consumed by it. Yeah. I was like consumed for a week or two and then not consumed for a month. And you can't. Melling was way more. It was way more a focus for him compared to probably me and Stewie as well. Like Stewie, he had a couple. Like he was doing the same thing. Did really well in the junior series. Was getting like winning all the pro juniors and getting really looked after by Rupco, and then it all fell apart and then he got his shit together and got on there. Yeah, yeah. And he probably did it more chip on his shoulder, fuck everyone. Yeah. I couldn't draw that. That's not my personality. I couldn't do that. And I didn't feel like I should have been on there. I never felt like that. That's probably maybe why I didn't. Right. I probably should have been like, fuck, I can do this. Yeah. Yeah. I should be doing this. Yeah. But I was like, oh, fuck, there's so many good guys. Fucking hopefully something works out. Like you just go on, like if you go on trying to flip a coin and hope, then you're just fucked. Yeah, fully. Yeah. And I guess as well, no major sponsor. Well, Lost is trying a bit of coin at you, but makes life a lot harder. Yeah, yeah. Like I was still like, you had $10,000 credit card. End of the year, you've like got a $10,000 debt, and you work all summer, and the comp start in March or whatever, or the QS starts at the end of March. Yeah. You pay that $10,000 off, go again. Like you're never in water a bit, but I enjoyed every moment of it. It just by the end of it, it was just like, yeah, if you weren't 100% committed, like why would you? That was kind of the question I asked myself. I'm like, if I'm not going to do it full tilt, the fuck am I doing? Just wasting more money and time. And yeah, it kind of, that was the split in the road. I was already working for Emery at the time. I was working on his machine at night so I could surf in the day, and I cut all the boards for Emery and Webby and whoever else was getting boards cut from him at the time. So it was kind of, I was getting into that. I had good work. It was, I had a good lifestyle. I had a new chick. It was all like going on the QS and just flying to Brazil and coming last was just not that appealing after a while. Yeah. And Melling wasn't like Fish wasn't on the QS anymore. Mel was on the CT being a sick cunt. And so, yeah, it got harder to be frothing.
So it's safe to say, no regrets. You had fun. Yeah. You learn a lot of things. Yeah, and you're in the place right now. You're in a good place right now. So
yeah. Like I mean, you probably see like what you're saying about the team stuff. You see me at those, and I might like I don't give a fuck. Like I've already sucked. So like in all the club stuff, it's like I just go out and have a crack and see what happens. So that's probably a good thing now. I probably should have done that 20 years ago and maybe got more results, but Yeah, I have no regrets at all. It was a really good part of my life, but I don't look back and go, fuck, why didn't I get a couple of world titles on the CT? Like, that wasn't happening whether I got on there or not anyway. Like, who the fuck's beating MF, Slater, Geordie? Yeah, there's so many good guys.
Yeah. No, well, it looks from our perspective anyway, most certainly land on your feet.
Yeah.
So we jump to the present day. Talk us through what you're up to nowadays. So every time I drive past a place, it used to be the blue van, but now it's a white van, and you've got your squad.
Yeah.
And you've got your shaping. Like, it's all kind of panned out pretty well, right?
Yeah. I still get to be a part of surfing in the area and still get to help the kids that are coming through. I was never gonna, like, when I stopped in 13, I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to get a trade. I want to go away from surfing. I didn't really enjoy surfing at that time. I just want to go and get some sort of job and then I'll get back into it in a year or two when I, have got some sort of career.
Yeah.
And then Tony O'Brien, so Tony O'Brien and Cam Lindsay, so Jack O'Brien and Reno Lindsay's dad, they were like, we need a coach. Like, Jenny Boggess was coaching in Lennox, but she couldn't do it as often, and they needed another coach. It was just a bit inconsistent. Stewie was doing a little bit with a few of those crew early on, but then he was back on the QS and the CT and doing all his stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, you should go, like, Lee Bar will pay for you to do the level 1 and 2. We need a coach for the kids that are in the board riders. And that was sort of started 2013, just after the Aussie leg. And I was like, fuck that. I don't really want to be a fucking coach to all the kids. And they eventually talked me into it. And I went and did the qualifying day, or the day where you did it, was at Lennox. So I went, oh, fuck it, I'll just go. And it was at the surf club. And it was just through Surfing Australia. I got my level 1 and 2, and then started doing a coaching group once a week with Jack and Reno, and then there was another group with Geordie and a few of the crew, Sonny Shiva and a few older crew.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 hours a week. And then that was 2013. And then just sort of slowly went from there, went to a few more groups, or maybe 1 or 2 more groups. And then just as the kids started getting older and wanted to do it, it just got more and more. Now it's like Monday to Friday every morning before school.
Yeah.
I do a group of like 6 kids, sometimes 8 kids, and then I do a high school, Ballon High, on the school I went to, on a Thursday. So there's plenty of work in the mornings, and then I can shape through the day. And then when the crew are around from doing the comps, I'll do stuff with those guys like through the day.
Yeah. And you I was about to mention that as well. You look after Mikey McDonagh, Connor O'Leary as well in his off seasons. They both grabbed breakout wins in the last couple of years. Did they feel just as satisfying as some of your own wins that you've had?
Probably more.
Yeah.
Really more. Like, just because you see how hard they work, and you see that, like, it's fucking way harder to watch these guys than to watch or surf a heat yourself. Just because you know how hard they work, and you know what they're like, you know their personality, you know it's on the line. But it was epic. It was really cool to watch them. Obviously watch Mike win Snapper, and be there, and then watch Connor. Not that I was there for Connor, but we were speaking most of the time through that event, and he deserved to win a comp. He's so good, and he'd been getting to quarters and semis, surfing well, and then just like not getting over that next hurdle to get into a final, and then to get into a final and to go through the crew he went through. It was murderer's row. Like, he went through Heath, he went through Philippe, and then through like Yago in the final. Fucking hell run, and get a 10. Yeah, it was really cool. And like, you just want them to, they can surf like that, and you see them at home, you're like, fuck, these guys, how the fuck are they not getting through heats?
100%.
Then to see him put it together was sick. It was really cool to see him, and obviously Mike too. Mike's a little bit different, where he gets in his own way a little bit more than Connor does. He can take himself out of a heat a bit more, and to see him get to that, and no Aussie had won for a year or so on the Challenger, and it was at Snapper, and it was in front of all his mates. It was sick.
Everyone loves an exclusive, but what do you think Connor's strength and weakness is? We don't have to share his diary.
Like,
but
in his mental game, or like
overall, but yeah, we can, whatever comes to mind.
Obviously his strength is like,
thunder thighs.
Yeah, like bigger, stronger waves, and he matches them with his stronger power surfing. But I feel like he can get in his own way when it's a slow heat. Like he was really lucky the waves were on the up in that final day. It's just like, get to the top of the fucking point, spin around, and let's rock and roll. And he's not sitting there going like chess match a bit. Or if he didn't have priority, he was sitting under, like he got that good one off Heath. He was sitting under Heath and he wasn't waiting to try and get priority back. He was just taking a wave. So for me, it'd probably be the last few years, if it's a slow heat, he kind of fucking frazzles himself a little bit and maybe overthinks it. Doesn't attack maybe as much as he could. That's probably his weakness, probably. He loses heats with, it's like low scoring heats. He'll lose an 11 heat. He'll have 8 points or 9 points. You're just like, fuck me.
Yeah. Because he jumped back to Margie's before he actually went on to win JJ.
Yeah.
I thought he was winning that event. Like he got to, I think, was the semis against Barron maybe, or the quarters even. And he didn't even look like he was surfing at 100%.
Well, there's a big story in that comp. Like I spoke about it in the podcast we did with him, but like there's a lot on the line in that comp for him. He just had a little girl, and he had to leave from when, just after to go to Margie. So he's like 2 weeks into having a kid or 3 weeks into having a little kid.
Yeah.
He's on the cart. He gets in a matchup with Liam O'Brien, and winner of that heat stays on tour. And he fucking starts with a sick wave, an 8, and then fucking Liam comes back. And luckily he had a good backup. I think he had like a 6 maybe or a 7.
Yeah, something like that.
And he was like, he couldn't speak that whole day. That whole day before he said it on our podcast. Like, he was so frazzled. Like if he doesn't make the cut, he falls off tour. He's got a little girl. He doesn't have the income from the events for those next CTs. You don't know what happens with Hurley. Like he's back on the Challenger and he's got to go away. Smiling. Yeah, and obviously that's all gone through his head, and he was, he surfed his brains out in the biggest heat of his life to stay on tour.
Yeah.
And then gets on a bit of a consistent roll, gets some quarters and gets that win, which is just sick.
Yeah.
And then he's got all this time now at home. He can spend time with his family and get in a really good routine and get prepared for hopefully a really good year next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if he does well enough, consistently enough, he can be right up there, I reckon. I believe he can ride big left barrels, which is pretty frequent there. He's good in big rights.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like he's hopefully just starting to get, scratch the surface. He can really kick on.
No, we're backing him in as well. On top of the coaching as well, you're also gun shaper. You're supplying boards for not just you, but pretty much the entire Northern Rivers at this point. What are your boards called, and how can crew get one?
It's just wood surfboards, Lennox head.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a website. It's pretty horse shit. I made it on Shopify. You can go on there and get one, or just hit me up on Instagram.
Sick.
Just on wood surfboards, Lennox. But yeah, I've been, again, like lucky. Same thing. I was working for Emery and doing the machine shit, and then slowly cleaning some boards up for him and making some fucking shit ham-shaped ones, and sort of went from there. And last probably 6-7 years really gotten into that. Like it's been really fun. Really enjoyed it. Looking after like help, having making boards for Scrap and Keenan, and trying to get them going, better and better every time.
I was about to say, give yourself some credit. You got Scrap, who's actually behind the camera right now.
Yeah.
Current QS Pro Junior surfer. Like they've got opportunities to go and get any other surfboard, but they religiously go back to you. So that it's working.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, pretty lucky for that. Like I think you look at like crew, you want to get people with good character, and hopefully they're somewhat loyal, and I'm all for them trying other boards. I think it's beneficial for me if they do, just so we know what they like about them, and you can bring them into your own stuff. But yeah, I'm lucky to have those guys, and I'm lucky to have everyone that buys them and rides them and keeps a roof over my kid's head, and like I got a new white car. I'm on the up. No, it's fun. I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
It's probably my passion more than, I love coaching. I love seeing the kids get better, but you get to be by yourself, using your hands. It's good fun.
Absolutely. And it's not just like you've come through, like obviously Emery, really big around this area. Had Melling on tour for years, but probably globally not so well recognized. But in your corner, you've got like not only the likes of Chris Brock, who's been doing it forever, but you got Darren Hanley as well, who's now up the road, who you sort of pretty close with in terms of just talking, going back and forth. How helpful have those guys been into your shaping?
Yeah, they've been really like all of them. Like Al at the start, Al's always been really helpful. He's always been really good support. Obviously, letting us use his machines and teaching me how to run them, and you know, letting me sort of kick into it. And then Webby was really helpful. Like there's all the guys, like the community of shapers around here. Guntz has been great.
Yeah.
And obviously Brocky, who I'm really close with, he's been amazing. He sort of got me to do some hand shaping and got me on the path to like different types of shapes and different types of designs.
Yeah. And
then, but you know, the last few years, I picked the boards up and dropped the boards off that are glass for DH, and then over time just had a really good relationship and worked for him and done some shaping for him, and having him look at all my boards and write me off, or fucking you know, I can pick up the phone and call him, and he'll always have something for me if I'm like quizzing him on fin placement or tail shape, concave, whatever. He's really into like performance shortboards and getting boards as, you know, high performance as they can be, which is what I want to do. That's the stuff I like. That's the stuff I ride. And it's really, obviously you couldn't ask for a better guy, because he's really fucking straight up, you know. He'll generally takes great joy in taking the piss out of me. So I get exactly what I want from him, whether it's, you know, good information or, you know, that looks fucked, change that. That doesn't look good. Put more volume here, you know, increase the rocker here, whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah, it's amazing. And just to sort of negate that, what's the worst part about shaping? What's the bit that you go, is there any part actually?
Not really.
No?
Nah, like, I mean, obviously the worst part of shaping is fucking up, like either me filling out, or like, you know, putting the wrong name on or something like that, or putting the wrong fins in, or you know, or not reading the information right, putting the wrong tail shape on, something like that. They're the ones you're handing the board out and they're like, I'm not Steve. You're like, no, you're Steve. I've done that before. Like, they're just dumb shit like that. But like, I love it. I love making boards to surf for myself. I love making boards, watching Scrap and Keen surf, trying to get Melling to ride him so he goes surfing. But yeah, seeing it, like, fuck, seeing my little boy ride him, whoever.
Yeah.
Guys out the point, I'm generally stoked watching crew surf anyway, but if they're on mine and the board's looking really good, then it's epic.
Even better. So this is kind of a two-part question, but kind of link into each other. How much of your day is spent thinking about board design? And then sort of as a second to that, have you noticed any shifts in what the pros are riding in sort of today's age?
Well, I mean, now at the moment, it's all the time, every day, because I'm doing a lot with Connor's coaching stuff is all around board development. Yeah. The new stuff he's working on to take on tour. Like, he's got amazing round tail boards. He's trying to get a shorter squash tail board that's going to work in sort of more marginal waves. Yeah. For the pool, little winky, small snapper, stuff like that. And which is perfect for here because the waves are pretty shit, spring, summer sort of waves. So I'm thinking about it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah. But I'd say the trends for guys, like, obviously Mayhem, I would say, is probably at the top of the trends now for what he's doing. He's like, it's all around his driver. So he's got the driver 3, I think, that Griff rides, and then the F1, that new model of Yargos. Yeah. They look insane. His boards look so good. Yeah. Yeah. They look really consistent. He can make, Mayhem's really good at making their best short board, say it's a 510, he can make a 6.0 or a 6.1 surf exactly the same. Yeah. You see, like, Yargo went up on that finals day and rode a little bit longer board, and it looked so good. Griff's board looked insane. Yeah. And it's kind of more of sort of a question from me on that. Like, for you as a shaper, like, I'm such a numpty with boards. Like, I pick it up, I don't know what different curves and stuff are doing. I just ride it, and if it feels good to me, then I'm happy. But like, for you as a shaper, like, can you, if say Yargo's board got presented to you, is it
achievable for you to then go into your bay and shape that board, or is there much more that goes into it than that?
There is. Like, you could, like, if I got a cut, so say you got a cut off the machine,
Yeah.
and I got it, you got it, and Mayhem got it, they're all going to be different. If it's the exact same cut, with the same dimensions, you just press go 3 times. They're still like, Mayhem's still got his magic, like, even if it is the profile,
Yeah.
he's still got his, like, small little things that he does that he likes to see in the board that are going to probably be the bits of magic that me and you aren't going to get.
Yeah.
Because he's done fucking 100,000 pre-shapes or whatever it is. He's looking, and he's that's all he does. Like, he'd only probably do those top guys' boards. So it's all the tiny subtle things.
Yeah.
So you can look at it and I could probably get the bones of it the same.
Yeah.
But the magic's like in their hands. Like, same with DH.
Yeah.
Probably same with JS, same with Sharp Eye. Those guys have, like, just a way of seeing things, like where they do the tuck, how the fins are, maybe the way they like to see the concave come out of the back.
Yeah.
The thickness, like the foil is a big thing for those guys, the tail foil.
Yeah.
There's it, like, it's never ending. And then you get different trends. So guys like to ride round tails. So everyone mostly rides round tails on tour if it's like 3 foot or higher. And then they're back to square tails. Oh, fucking such and such has ridden on square tails. Quick. So I would imagine it's a lot of that. It's just small changes back and forth.
Yeah. So when someone comes to you and goes, I've got this, like, real refined Juliet here, like, can you shape me this exact board? Is that kind of for you just going, shit? Like,
You don't want it. Like, you might take a few things out of it. Like, the things, I might do something that I have that's similar, and you might look at where they put the fins, so the fins sit the same, but you try not to, like, fucking just take the exact shit, because it'll look the same.
Yeah.
You're kind of trying to do your own thing. So, like, I'll develop it with scrap, and, you know, you're trying to make small changes off a shorty that scrap likes, that I like, that Melling likes. We all sort of a little different. Mm-hmm. It's better to probably do it that way, but you can obviously copy it to a millimeter, but it's a dead end road, I reckon. You're just trying to take little bits that maybe you want in your board. So it might be late tail flip, more nose curve, more deck curve, whatever.
You want to have your touches on it too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like that, I mean, I think that's where they all got their start. So you look at, like, how Mayhem came through. He had his ideas around the team he had and developed the boards, and that's where they went. And he's just slowly been really lucky to live in San Clemente and have incredible guys coming through. And that's pushed their development. But the same with DH with Mick. Same thing with JS, with Joel and Dingo and those guys. Like, you just got to hope you get the right people that are really good with boards and really confident with their feedback and have a great deal of knowledge.
For listeners that aren't watching, would he just look directly at scratch?
You're obviously you're as good as those sorts of people.
Yeah.
You can, like, I can go, this board's sick, I fucking rip, but then you give it to someone. Like, you need to have a few people, different sizes, different weights, I reckon, surfing differently to make it come together as a consistent board. Otherwise, if it just works for me and I'm just giving it to you and you're like, this is fucked. No, it doesn't. You don't go, like, you can't go that far with that type of headspace, I reckon, like the frame of mind. You won't develop them very well.
Yeah. Short lifespan.
Yeah, they're just fucked, probably. Just plugs. Like, and then you see them, they're like, yeah, it works pretty good. And then, like, a week later, they're on a fucking Mayhem or something. Like, must be so fucked.
Yeah. Question from me. So your kind of era, I'll call it, went through what some call the glory days of junior surfing and going up through the ranks from pro, junior, QS, CT. What would you say to kids that are 15 to 18 now, knowing what you have gone through and experienced in real life, but you're obviously very clued into, like, what the environment's like now? What would be your advice to a Scrap or a Keenan or someone who might be listening going, fuck, what do I do? I'm a good surfer. I'm getting $1,000 a year off yada, yada, yada. I want to become Ethan Ewing or fucking Yagodora.
You probably put, I would say for even, like, younger kids that are really, I would do less events and do more surf trips and develop your surfing in better waves to play the long game. Like, don't go for the glory when you're 13 to 17. Go for development. Like, you look at, John never, like, he was obviously a fair bit younger than me, but he never did really like any pro juniors or anything when he was, I don't think he really started doing them until he was 19 or 20. He didn't really do many comps, maybe the NSA comps. Dane was the same. Yeah, like you look at the younger crew now, like Huey, I don't think Huey does many events. He does pro juniors here and there, but like he's trying to develop his surfing. Sierra Kerr, like crew like that, they just go to different breaks around the world learning to surf, barrels or whatever. I would do that. I would put, if you've got a family that are willing to spend 25 grand on you a year traveling around Australia to do events, like, just Taj, Small Fries, or wherever, like all these events around Australia, Vico, whatever, and you get to the end of the year and it's 15 to 25 grand. Why wouldn't you go and have like these amazing surf trips? Go to Europe, or go to fucking Indo or go to Indo and just spend 2 months in Indo and really get your surfing right. Like, is it that Dylan Wilcox that won NIAS?
Yeah.
Like, is he? I've fucking never seen him do a comp, and he's from. Is his dad own Kandui Resort?
Yeah.
It's like Bronson. Like, look at Bronson. Like Bronson, he's just starting to do a lot of events now. I think he might have done small events around Bali, but like, he's this CT level skill set surfer because of where he surfed and how much he surfed in those waves. Like, I don't know. That to me is just so much more important than getting these hell results, and then you get to 19 or 20 and you fucking can't go left or something. Like, like you can't do an air. You can't. Like Yago Dora's one. Like he can beat you with. He doesn't need priority. Like he's got so many more skills. So if you don't have any of those, like if you make the CT or you make the Challenger and you get on and you're against Yago and you haven't worked on any air and you're at Trestles or you're at Snapper and he knows you can't do airs, like what do you think is going to happen? Like, are you planning to get on the CT and win an event or get in the top 5 or whatever it is, win or top? Like, where do you see your map?
Yeah.
And if you see your map as just getting on there and that's it, then do heaps of comps and do it that way. But if you want to get on and develop and be a world title contender, you can't. I think you have to go the road of spending from 13 to 17 or 13 to 18 of just doing way more free surfing trips and making sick clips. Like, I would sponsor kids doing that because you can give them a bunch of boards and they can go ride them in Indo, make your boards look sick. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I'm sure that's probably what you would say, Zachy. Like, if you were going to give money from Billabong's point of view, you'd want, not to drag you into this, but I don't know. I don't know. For me now, with everyone's on the Instagram looking at, I'd rather see a fucking 13-year-old kid standing in a pit at fucking somewhere sick in Indo.
Well, you don't really get many board short sales out of a Lee Bar round 3 win.
Yeah.
And I know it gets posted on Instagram and it's kind of forgotten about in about 5 minutes. I'm pretty good. I've got a trophy cabinet with some dust on it and I didn't get paid. So I think I have some conviction when I speak here. I think you're right. You got to almost invest in your future self 10 years from now.
If you're really into that, and that's where you see yourself going for sure. I think like looking at the skill set of some of these younger kids now, like, you better get your fucking shit together. Yeah. Like, even is it Lockie or Loki? Like he's unbelievable. Like, there's so many of these young kids now. They're so good. Yeah. And they're getting taken to those good spots. Yeah. From 13. So if you don't have the sponsorship to do that, but you're going to spend 20 grand on traveling around to a lot of little comps that don't really mean anything long term, why wouldn't you go spend that money? Yeah. You might only spend 10 grand a year on your kid doing that. Why don't you do a sick holiday, or I don't know.
That's 6 months in that.
Go to West Isles. Some of the waves are good. Go to the South Coast, spend a couple of weeks down there, put more energy into that, surfing heavy waves.
Yeah. And it's a great point you make there about guys like Yago, McDonagh.
Like even Jack. Jack didn't do many events. Jack Robbo. Yeah. Not many junior events.
Yeah, for sure.
And he was always getting filmed because he lived where it was like sick waves. But that guy's a fucking dead set wizard. Yeah. Like a full-blown wizard.
And you look at the guys of the past, like sort of Melling would probably fall into that category. Like Wade Carmichael, those guys that get on tour and they're amazing surfers, but their time there is limited, or their results are limited because, like, in any given heat, there might be maybe one wave where someone of that skill set that's more rail orientated can get an 8, and then the only other achievable score in that heat might be a 6 for them. But for someone like Yago or Italo, there might be 5 or 6 waves in that heat that they can get an 8 on, even if it's a closeout. It can be a score, you know.
Yeah, they probably won't even they probably won't even go for priority at the start. They're just like, fucking do your best, bros. Have a crack. Like, you know, there's only a few spots they might try and get, like maybe Choves or somewhere like that. They might really bang on for the inside to start the heat.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, fucking do your thing. No, that didn't work out for you. Yeah, watch this. Just fucking backflip. Like, I think how good there's like 8 guys now or 10 guys that if you're getting on the tour and you just want to come, you know, somewhere from 15th to whatever the last, like 34.
Yeah.
You can, if you want to be in the top 10, you have to have all those skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all have them, and they're all 30. So if you get on there when you're 20 and you don't have many skills and you're 20 or 22 and they've been on there for 7, 10 years and they've got all those skills, it's like you've got to develop really quick.
Yeah.
Or you're fucking out the door.
There you go.
So I don't know if that made sense what I meant, but I just see a lot of people spending a lot of money going to kids comps around Australia, and it just like they keep you in there with a rating system and all that fucking dumb shit to keep you going. It's like a cash thing that they want you to
fully, and it's hard.
Stay there doing the comps, because if you don't, your points drop and then you can't do Aussies or you can't do whatever it is. Like, fucking who cares? Like, if you do them when you're 18 and if you've been training hard and surfing well, you're more than likely to do really well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move back into you now. Zach did some research, and he went out to some of your closest friends to find some stories that we could bring up.
Yeah.
So the first one was Adam Melling, and he said ask him about Thanksgiving at Andy Iron's house.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I went over to Andy's, like, we're in Hawaii, on the North Shore, and we went there for like about a week. I went to Kauai and stayed with him. It was sick. Like, he'd won Haleiwa, and we were all staying in the same house. And the next day, Joel was going, and Corey Lopez, and I think a couple other crew were going to Andy's, and he's like, we'd been hanging, we had a big party that night, and he's like, I got you a plane ticket, come to Kauai. And I was just like sitting on the end of my bed. I'm like, what? And yeah, ended up going there for a week, and we had like the sickest waves. It was sick. And I was like, half the time I'd just sit there and watch, and it would be like just him and Joel surfing these sick waves. And yeah, and Corey, it was fucked up. It was pretty bizarre that I actually got invited and was there, but it was, special, really special.
And Kauai is a location where it's not easy for blow-ins per se to go and actually surf there or get waves. Like, you've pretty much got the golden ticket with him, right?
Yeah, with Andy, fuck yeah. Like, I was in his car. Like, I didn't take any boardies. I didn't take it. You guys don't bring any boards. Don't worry about boardies. Just get in the car. Got in the car, and I had like a backpack with a couple of changes of clothes, but I didn't bring any surf shorts because they were leaving real quick. We get there, and he goes, "You can just wear my boardies and ride my board." And yeah, I had like fucking the Rising Sun boardies. They were like pretty much 3/4 pants, and was riding one of his boards, and got back to one of the car parks, and they're like, one of the guys pulled up next to his truck, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing in his car?" And I was just sitting in the back of the truck watching him surf. I'm like, "Oh, I'm here with Andy. Like, I'm not stealing anything." And he's like, "Mate, get the fuck out of the car." And we got out of the car, and then luckily Andy and Joel and I were walking up, but it was all cool after that. But yeah, so like, they just keep it all tight because it's a beautiful spot, and it's like that. I guess they don't want it to get too blown out of proportion, but there's great waves there, and it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah. And then this next one was from Johnny Hewitt. And it's a bit cryptic. I don't know if he wants you to link all 3 of these together. He's just given us 3 words, really. Ringworm, Fisher, and a wedding.
Okay. So it's Mello's wedding. Mm-hmm. Fisher did a speech.
Yeah.
And that would have been 2006 or something. We're training, going to South Africa. I put on Melling's boardies and trained, and we'd finish, and I fucking start getting this ringworm, and it's about 2 days before we go into Durban to do the comp over there, and fucking they got wind, like Fisher somehow got wind when we got there that I'd got ringworms. I had like, a couple of ringworms around my gut and around the bottom of around my hip. And I'm getting changed at the comp. And so it's like 30 people or 40 people on the deck of like the QS. And he's fucking trying to rip my towel off, going, everyone, look at this cunt. He's got fucking ringworm, trying to get me to get it out. And anyway, so everyone ended up seeing it. And he's going, fucking, you crook cunt, you've got fucking ringworm and whatever. And then I was like, I've got to go to the doctor. I've got to get some cream. And I was leaving, and he ended up coming. He's got ringworm all on his leg. And that's, he sort of, it's like he tells the story better than I do, but he told that at Melling's wedding. He got up at the end of Melling's wedding and said that. And it's like, obviously we were all loving it. It was pretty hilarious, but there's like a few people in the front row of Melling's wedding just going, the fuck is he talking about? Had nothing to do with Melling or Jamin. And he's just spoke about me getting ringworm from Melling's boardies, and he got ringworm.
Wow.
So I think that's
pretty on brand for him, right, though? Just run with it. Just pick something up and go a bit Fisher.
Yeah. He's like, if he feels comfortable enough that he won't get bashed as he's doing speech, he'll say some crazy shit. Like he's done a couple of good speeches.
To finish off, it's actually a photo that I want to see your reaction.
I've got one more.
Oh, sorry, one more after this, but just want to see your honest reaction and tell us about this photo.
Wow. How's the head? Is that might be Narrabeen maybe, is it? Or is that, yeah, that's Narrabeen.
It's one of them, yeah, it's one of them.
I think I won the trials that year, I think.
Yeah.
So is this when you...
This is 2003, I think, maybe. Or 2004, I just won or... Is it?
When was the last time you saw that photo?
I don't know if I've ever seen it, but fucking... I've got a very unique looking head. And it's very long and narrow. But I think that might be like at Narrabeen. I won the trials for the Pro Junior, the World Juniors. I think. Maybe. Is it?
I don't know. I saw it and just went, I'm fucking putting this in the dock.
Is it maybe in... No, that's it. It's
ASP.
Yeah, ASP.
That'd be 2004 then, right?
Yeah, 2003 maybe.
2003.
That's so crazy. That's so long ago.
I'll send it to you, and that can be your new bio
I might
picture.
put that up on my board page of Instagram and say, here we go, this is me.
Last question for you. And this is kind of like, we're in the off season right now, so it's not really a time when we can break down too much, but it'd be mental to get you back on at some point during the season and we can run over an event or something. But
yeah, for sure.
The WSL has gone back to the old way of things in 2026.
Yeah.
Is this something that you're fond of?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think it deserves to finish a pipe.
Yeah.
I think it's like, do they cut it off as it gets along or something like that?
So you don't actually fall off. So around October, like 2 or 3 events to go, before pipe, sorry, they cull like the back seats, like the guys that are down the rankings, but they still come back and surf at pipe, and pipe's got 15,000 points available rather than 10,000 now. For the win.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's more points in the last event, but they kind of do a semi cut, but you still surf at pipe.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Yeah. Yeah. And the pool is like kind of neither here nor there anyway.
Yeah.
So, but
no, for sure. It's way better. Like I feel like my whole childhood and growing up, getting into it from like 2000 or 2001 when the Quickie first took over and it was a QS.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Taj won. It beat Fanning in the final. Mm-hmm. And then the next year, Joel won in 2002. Like, I remember being at Snapper watching them, and it was the first event of the year. Like, it should start at Snapper.
Yeah.
Does it?
It doesn't. It's like Snapper's event 2 or 3 bells. Yeah. But, like, I think the main thing...
bells is the starter.
Yeah. But I think... But it should finish at Pipe. It's where it needs to finish.
I'm all for it. They've got J-Bay in there, don't they?
J-Bay's still there.
And they've got Cloudy in there.
Cloudy, yeah.
Yeah, like it's basically the same. Like that should be. I think everyone likes history. So like if you try and change it to a knockout thing like the NRL finals or the NBA finals or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because it's like first past the post. And sometimes you have a Kelly and Andy final where it's like, fuck, who's going to win?
Yeah.
And sometimes someone loses second round or third round and the other guy has been better all year. Like,
Yeah.
if you were Carissa Moore and those few times she didn't win in that final, like there was one year she was so far ahead and she would have won it maybe with 3 or 4 events to go.
Steph ran
It'd be
down.
she must be pretty sad about that.
100%.
I mean, obviously I don't know. Like that seems unfair. I feel like she would, because I think it was the year maybe Steph won.
It was. Steph ran
Steph
it
only
down.
just made it on the
fifth.
card and then just made it to 5th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is sick. It shows you the format can bring in someone from nowhere, which is sick. And obviously Steph's a fucking 8 times world champ because she's amazing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I didn't like that part of it. Like, Carissa was by far the best surfer. She by far deserved to be the world champion that year.
And I think with surfing as well, like in footy and stuff like that, there's potentially more moments during a game where you can swing things back in your favour. But in surfing, it can be one priority mistake at the start of the heat. You're done, like
Bad side of the tide.
Yeah.
Like, if you're at a comp and it's the bad tide, like Trestles, especially for the finals, they get the bad side of the tide. And Ethan had a heat where there was like 3 waves. Or Jack had a heat where there was fucking against Italy this year and there was barely any waves in his heat. Like, imagine getting there prepping for a week. You've got all the boards, you're dialed, and you get one, or you made one.
Yeah.
You take the second wave of the set and then there's no more waves. And that guy caught the first wave and maybe got out priority and got it
back up. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
That shit is not how the world title should be decided.
No. And go on, sorry.
Like, I feel like how they did it, how they changed the rule for Yago, if you win the first heat, you win, was a better way to do that this year. Because I think that was a fair way. You earned the first spot.
Yeah.
You got to properly take it from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And win 2 of them.
Yeah.
Of those final heats.
Yeah. And I think I can see why they did it because it seemed like it was a bit of a direct response to, they had that surf off with McDonagh and Italo for the world title at Pipe.
Yeah.
And I think they went, let's replicate this every year because but the thing that makes that so special is because it never happens. So when it does happen, that's when you're like, holy crap. And I think the 15,000 points will help that because you can be that much further behind now.
Yeah, still a chance.
And still a chance,
Yeah, it makes it for interesting viewing. If there's like, especially if you got like, guys that are really consistent at Pipe, like your Jack or a McDonagh or a John that gonna get probably quarters or finals or whatever or more, and they're way back and come out of nowhere and get it. But so many of the world champions left around the time they started doing it. McDonagh had a few years off, or he's injured, and John left.
Yeah.
Steph left, Carissa left, Kelly fell off and retired, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They must have had some meetings where they were like, "We've got to make it more appealing for those guys to stay on because it's like keeps everything worth watching for all the viewers."
Yeah, yeah. And the last question is, we've had such a run of Brazilian world titles. You look at the last sort of 10 or so years, it's pretty much been just green and blue and yellow flags across the board. What has Australia got to do to get another men's world title?
Just got to have, well, now that it's probably a bit more in their favour, it's not an event to decide it, but I think they've just got to probably really focus on the spots that they aren't good at and really knuckle down and try and grind something out in those spots.
Yeah.
Like Jack's got so many strengths. Heath and Jack hopefully will get it done. I mean, Connor's surfing Japan, but I mean, ideally, if Connor do it, Connor,
we'll claim him. We'll take him back.
Yeah. I think you've got to be fucking just all in all year. I feel like the boys were. Even that the last few years they made the final 5, they just had those shitty lully heats.
Yeah.
Even Jack had he was the first heat at Fiji, and they could have waited 2 hours and started it. And you know how the last heat with Griff and Yago, there was heaps of waves.
Yeah.
Maybe they jumped the gun to start it.
Yeah.
Poor Jack, he's just been on the wrong side of a few heats in those ones and I thought for sure he was going to do some wizardry shit. And it just wasn't quite there in the morning. And
yeah.
That shouldn't be how you decide a world title heat. He should be like, hopefully, good pipe, heaps of people on the beach.
Yeah.
And, we haven't seen Jack and John go for a world title against each other, like those two fucking wizards at pipe. And then, can Yago get there against those guys now? And I reckon he can. Like, he's pretty fucking good out pipe.
Yeah.
There's so many good storylines. Obviously, you pray the 2 Aussie boys and the half Aussie, half Japanese our boy Connor gets up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, Griff's going to be better for it. That guy's... There's so many good guys.
Yeah.
Geordie ain't going anywhere for an 85-year-old. Big dog. He'll fucking have a crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exciting. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
Probably because of that.
And who's your, out of those two that you mentioned, Jack and Ethan, who do you think's our best chance?
Jack.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just a few more weapons in the duffel bag, right?
He's just winning more.
Yeah.
Well, how many has Ethan won? Maybe 2 events?
Yeah.
And Jack's probably won 10 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack gets the final wins. He doesn't lose very often.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know how many. Is it 10 events?
He's won a ridiculous, or 9 or 10.
9 events.
Yeah.
Jamie Joe Rogan.
Scraps over in the corner with all the stats.
I mean, that would be the only... It's not the surfing from Eth. It's
just
more
strike rate.
just competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
In those big moments, he's making better calls, or he's doing better surfing, or...
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he won Pipe and Chobes in the same year last year.
He's had for the amount of time he's had on tour, he's got a disproportionate amount of wins. He's got a lot. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, you'd want to just see sick Pipe and them just fucking sending it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'll get more people watching it.
Yeah.
I really feel like there's so many more people watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everyone, that's been... Oh, sorry. Jamie in the corners just pulled it, and we will put this in the final edit.
What is it?
Do you want to? This is James on the best wave that's ever broken at Lennox Point. Yeah, we got to ask you about this thing. That obviously best wave.
Just wait. No.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, it was just fucking... That was the best. That was just a magic day. Fuck, it was just magic.
Yeah, and we will be playing that in the final edit. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a Saturday. It was a Friday. I think a Friday over, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
That was like when I was talking about there's 100 good surfers. That's what the first day that comes to mind. The Saturday. There was like everyone from home was surfing.
Yeah.
And there was like, it was sick to see all the crew that you see that you've grown up surfing with that you don't get to see surf much. You get to surf those waves, and there's so many good waves ridden.
Yeah.
It was so sick to watch.
That day was only like locals out too.
It was sick. And there was crew drifting through, and they'd sort of get in there, and then they'd just go, oh, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Just keep going. But the waves are so good for so long that I probably would have done the same. Like, oh, fuck, I'll just try down here. They're all there. Well, fuck, why don't I go there? And it kind of worked out well for everyone that was there.
Everyone on the... Yeah.
It was a
mostly
magic
locals
day.
on all the good waves, which was good to see.
There was like, backside, like frontside, old guys, young guys. Fuck, you just wish it was like that. It's like at least once a year. Like it was, like here's one for you. Like, so that run of waves, like there was that sick couple of weeks around, those other spots that really lit up, and then there was waves at the point, and I was getting hit up for good like guns and short, good wave shortboards every week, and I had no stock. I didn't have a showroom and didn't really keep any stock. Finally made a showroom at the end of winter, at the end of last year at Gunnerond, and cleaned it up, and we made stock, made all guns, sicker stringers, like boards for better ways, and it's been the fucking worst winter. So if anyone's looking for a gun out there, I've got a few on the showroom that haven't sold because it's been the worst winter. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Well, look, I reckon that's a great place to leave it. We'll roll with the ending credits of James just getting 3 of the craziest pits you've ever seen at Lennox Point. But James, thanks so much for coming on.
No worries, guys. Pleasure. It's doing a great job. Happy to talk shit.
Yeah.
It's all about surf, which is fucking what everyone loves.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next week.